Yo, one of my favorite things to draw in Illustrator is shoes. I love to exaggerate the features of the shoes and just make them extra cartoony. So I just dropped a new series on my Instagram. It's called Chunky Sneaks. The first 4 shoes that I did were the Nike Blazer, the Adidas Samba, the old school Vans, and of course the Jordan 1s. So I thought it would be cool to go over how I made these. So we're gonna start off doing the Nike Blazer, so let's hop into it. Okay, so here we are in Illustrator. I have my artboard right here and I have my reference photo right here. As always, I have my color palette over here on the right side. One thing though, before we get started, I wanna show you my artboard settings. I have it set for 500 by 500. Usually if I was doing a square image, I would do 1080 by 1080, but I want these lines to be extra thick. The thickness on my color palette is always set for 4 points, so instead of making the stroke width thicker, I just make the artboard smaller so that we can keep the lines nice and consistent throughout all of my artwork. So to start off, I'm gonna just add a little background here. Since the shoe is completely white, I don't wanna be working on a white background, so we're just gonna make it red. And we'll lock this layer, make a new one for the shoe. And let's start off with the sole. So we're gonna take the rectangle tool, that's M on your keyboard, and just make a rectangle like this. And we're gonna make that white. Zoom in here. I'm gonna add a point right about there and there. And just bring these up slightly. Because you'll see on the actual shoe, the toe kind of comes up a little bit at the front. So we want that to come up. We're going to be loosely referencing this photo because, like I said, I like to make it extra exaggerated and cartoony. So we're gonna just use this as a reference and then take it from there. So let's bring this toe up a little bit and then we can bring this over and we're gonna curve these out slightly. So I'm holding down Option right here. So this little V comes up when you're hovering over the anchor and you can just drag it to the left and that makes it nice and smooth. Let's select this point right here, bring it this way a little bit, and we're gonna do the same thing, kind of curve it out like this, and then bring this one down slightly. Now let's select each corner and just round out those like that. Next, we're just gonna add this little shape right here on the front of the toe. With our pen tool, we're gonna start right about here, bring it up this way, and go all the way outside of the bottom shape. And we're gonna use our Pathfinder tool to create this shape right here. So let's select this back shape, Command C, Command Shift V to paste a new one on top. And then we can select that one and our new shape, go over to Pathfinder and hit intersect. So now we have this shape on top of the bottom shape. Then let's select this point right here and round it out. And we can take these points over here and just bring it outside a little bit so it's kind of like looking like it's overlapping over the bottom shape. Hover over this point with our pen tool selected and hit that anchor. And then let's round this one out as well. That looks pretty good. I actually want to make this a little bit taller, so let's just select the top half with our direct select tool, and then with your arrow key just hit up a few times. That looks okay. You can bring this point down a little bit. All right, cool. Next, we're gonna use the actual reference. Let's take our pen tool and we're just gonna kind of follow along the silhouette of the shoe. Bring this up this way to a straight point like that. We're gonna round it out afterwards. Another straight point right here and we'll curve that out. We're gonna use this point right here and this point right here as kind of reference points. We're just gonna connect them down here on the bottom, but we can round this line out right here, hold down Option and round that out. Select that point, round it out. Same thing here, round it out. Now let's bring this shape down here. And as I was saying, we're gonna use this point and this point are gonna be the points that are connected right to the top of the sole. So let's put this point kind of like that. That looks good. This point is right on there as well. And then just resize it. Hit I on your keyboard, that'll be your eyedropper tool, and make it white, and then we can hit Command Shift left bracket to send it to the back. That looks okay. I think I want to make it a little bit more round on the front portion of the shoe. So let's drop this point right here, and then we can bring it up like that. So what I'm doing is holding down Option again, and just dragging the anchor up like this. So as you see, it's very exaggerated. Obviously the shoe sole is not this thick, but yeah, that just kind of makes it look a little bit cooler in my opinion. Like always, I'm gonna just go back in and make adjustments, kind of re-round things out to make sure it looks good. I think I like it like that. All right, cool, that looks pretty good. So for the shoelaces, I'm gonna just draw with the pencil tool. This is how I do for most of my shoes. We're gonna start right about here and then draw this round oval shape, but stop once you get back to this line. And then we'll go straight across along that line and then finish off the loop like that. Obviously that doesn't look good, but we can go back in and adjust it. So let's just round it out like this. Make these shoelaces nice and chunky. That looks pretty good. We're gonna double click on this and then just add one small line right here. Really small detail, and that'll make it look like it's looping around the shoe. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's delete this point right here with our pen tool, and then we'll round it out again because we need to make it a little bit shorter. So we can actually just delete most of these points. The less points you have, the more smooth your lines will be. All right, cool. Now we're just gonna option drag some extra shoelaces down this way. Like that. Another one, and then as you drag them down, just rotate so that they follow along with the path of the shoe. And one more, rotate. All right, that looks decent. Next, we just have to draw this line right here. It's kind of just a curve along the front that follows along with the shoelaces. So let's take our pen tool, start a point right about here, bring it down this way, straight line, and then we can go up this way. So all straight lines again, and then what we're gonna do is do the Pathfinder tool again. So copy the main shoe shape, paste it on top, and then select both, hit intersect, and then let's go to this shape right here, and with your pen tool selected still, hold down Option, and we can curve this out like that. We need to send it behind the shoelaces, so Command left bracket a few times just to get it behind the shoelaces. And then let's just adjust it from there. Round that one out. So now we have this shape on top of this one. That looks decent. Next, we can just add these details. So there's a line right here leading from the shoelaces to the sole, and then we have this slightly darker white shape that goes along the top of the sole. So for that, we can just add a stroke right here, curve it out and get rid of the fill. And then we're gonna add this shape like this with straight lines. Go bring it all the way over this way, bring it up to this, and then again we're going to do the Pathfinder tool for this one. Now before we do the Pathfinder tool, we're going to select this point right here and just round it out like that. That kind of makes it look like it's looping around the front of the shoe. So now we can copy and paste this main shoe shape, select that one and hit intersect, and let's just make it slightly darker. And then we're just gonna hit Command left bracket a few times to get it behind the sole like that. Then we can just play with its shape, round it out like that. Looks okay. Next, we got to get this Nike swoosh in there, so let's use our pen tool. Doesn't matter if it's perfect because everything in this design is so exaggerated. If the logo is a little bit off, it's no big deal because it's a cartoon shoe. So we can make it bigger than it actually is. Basically just stylize it the way that you want to and whatever you think looks best. It doesn't have to look exactly like the shoe. You can even rotate it a little bit if it's not fitting how you want to. All right, and then let's just Shift E, that'll be our eraser tool, and I just go like that, erase this part. But you have to make sure your shape is selected while you're using the erase tool. Otherwise, you're gonna be erasing stuff you don't wanna erase. So make sure your Nike logo is selected. Just go like that, delete this, and then you can just move these points. All right, cool. So there's our logo. Next, let's just add this little corner of the shoe right here. We'll just do that with a stroke. We don't need to make it into a shape. Just bring it over like that. Get rid of the fill and round it out. Actually, let's bring it up a little bit. and then now round it out. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and add the tongue. So it's just a pretty much a triangle like this, but the back side of it is curved out. So we can round it out like this, make that white and send it all the way to the back, Command Shift, left bracket. And there's our tongue, that's nice and easy. There's this tag on the front of the tongue that's white, but I personally have the jumbo Nike Blazers, which look like this with the orange tag. So we're just gonna pay homage to that and make the tag orange, because I like that little touch of color since this shoe is pretty much all white. So we'll make the tag orange. So let's just, again, start with our pen tool, do straight lines like this. We're gonna stop right here on the tongue and kind of follow it this way, and then bring it back down. Then we can just curve things out. Let's make it orange. Let's copy this orange shape, delete it, and then double click on your tongue, and then paste it back into place. So now these two can be grouped together, kind of like that. And then we'll round these out and add this little line right here. Group those together, Command G, and there's our tag. All right, that's pretty much it for the shoe. I made the sole of the shoe taller before, but I actually think I made it too tall. So let's bring it back to where it was, like right about there. And that looks a little bit better. So let's group that together, Command G. Make sure it's centered, and then we'll just add a shadow in the back like that. And that's our shoe. Last thing I want to do is add some text. So let's add a new layer underneath the shoe, but on top of the background. Just label that text. You can label this one shoe, label this one background. All right, so we're gonna add some text real quick. Just Nike Blazer. So we're gonna use this font right here. It's called Gang of Three. This is a free font that I found online. Let's just type in Nike. This is gonna be smaller, and it's gonna be black. Let's bring the tracking up to, say, 75, so that the thick strokes aren't messing it up. That looks okay. We're gonna adjust this E in a little bit, but for now, let's just drag this down, Option drag, and we'll do BLAZER. This one's gonna be bigger, and we'll make that white with a white stroke. So holding down Shift while your stroke is on top and your eyedropper tool selected, hold down Shift and click on another white, so that will adjust the stroke to be the same as the fill. So now we have this. We're gonna tracking down for this one since it's larger, and then we're gonna expand both of these. So Object, Expand. I wanna bring this middle line of the E down a little bit. Oops. So select all these points right here, and then just drag them down, just so there's a little bit more space right there. And then same thing with this L. Select those points, bring it up. We can adjust this so that it's closed off, and we can fix this E, bring it down a little bit. And last thing, double click into the A. We're gonna move this up and close it off, kind of like that. Okay, so now we got Nike Blazer. Let's group these together, and then we're gonna go to this tool right here. It's the free transform tool. Go over to this side and hold down Shift and drag it up. That'll give it that angle that we want. And then let's just drag it into place like that. We can make it bigger. Make sure it's centered. Cool, let's just select everything, drag it down a little bit, and there we go. There's our Nike Blazer. Very stylized, very cartoony. I like to call it chunky. That's why this series of shoes is called Chunky Sneaks. Chunky sneakers, you get it? It's kind of, I don't know. That's what I came up with. Anyways, if you like this, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Drop a comment what shoe you want to see me do next. But that's it for now. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.